Welcome to Virtual Antics, your go-to podcast for digital entrepreneurs, powered by Nandora.org and NG Virtual Assistant. We're here to guide you through every aspect of business, from networking to lead generation and so much more. Get ready to thrive in the virtual world with expert insights and our all-in-one solution, Nandora, where creating a digital business becomes a breeze. Let's dive in and revolutionize your business journey together. Welcome back to the Virtual Antics podcast. I'm your host, Natalie Guzman, and today is a really cool day because this is the first time I'm actually have a friend on the show who is one of my amazing business friends. We've been friends I think it was just at the start of the pandemic. And we have been in contact ever since. She's an amazing entrepreneur, amazing mom. So I'm so happy to welcome Nurse Q. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, thank you. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. Now, I called you Nurse Q because even though that's not your birth name, that is what you're most known by. So that's why I said Nurse Q, but she is Quita. I call you Q.
It's so hard. I know.
Say your name for me.
Quita Lozon. So I have two hard names, the first and the last. If people know the first, they can't say the last. So it's fine. That's why when you're due for a baby, you call Nurse Q, just branding purposes.
Yeah, exactly. And I know you by Q. That's what I call you. So I love it. That's awesome. So how I want to talk a little bit about how we met, because I think it's really interesting, especially because you're in New York and I'm in Florida, and we actually just met for the first time in person, right?
I know. It was so exciting. It was so surreal. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
And our babies got to meet. Our kids are around the same age. So that was so much fun. So we met at was it Shalene Johnson's like Instagram challenge or something like that?
Yeah, it was during the pandemic, like you said, and yeah, I didn't know enough about social media. At that time, I just got on Instagram and just trying to learn all the things. And we were in the same, like, I don't know, group or something. And she's like, find, go in the comments and comment on someone and find. And I loved you're so talented. I loved your Canva stuff. And I remember messaging you. And then we just kind of hit off from there. And we just like literally, it's amazing. It was just like a match made in heaven for friends, entrepreneurship, motherhood journey, like all the things. Just being able to bounce ideas off each other, just being real and authentic and having that support, because entrepreneurship can be a lonely ride. Then being a mother during the pandemic, just all these things, right? So no, you're my ride or die girl, all the way in Florida.
Yeah, I think you came at a time in my life that like I needed friends, and I also need friends that I'm one of those people that when I get busy, I disappear. I get close to my little box, and you were that persistent friend that's like, I'm still here for you, even though you're not responding to me. And oh man, I so appreciate you. I am a lot better now, but especially when the kids are younger, the feeling. You just want to kind of close everything out and just focus on what you need to get done. But I think we both helped each other's businesses grow and us grow as moms. You've given me so much amazing advice, especially when it came to, getting through those toddler years with my kids. So I really appreciate our friendship. So can you tell everyone like who you are, what you do?
Well, my name's Quita Loza, Nurse Q. We've established that. But I'm a registered nurse, turned into an entrepreneur. It's my passion to help people. And when I had my own daughter, that's when I started my Nurse Q business. And it was like just word of mouth, helping, new moms, expecting moms, teaching classes. And then when the pandemic hit, and just obviously women were so disproportionately affected, as we all know, and it was hard. So that's when I decided to like start E.P.E.S program, where we team up with companies and they pay for the coaching services. So we still take independent individuals who want to pay for our services and get 4 to 8 weeks of coaching from a nurse coach, for myself or someone on the team. But I want to be able to help women going back to work in this way too, because millions of women left their jobs or quit their jobs or got fired. Like, it was just a lot. and how are you going to be two places at once, right? Homeschooling your kids during a pandemic and then also being at work. It was like a lot. So I just wanted to help in that way and do something that no one is doing. So that's why I started it. So I just like helping people. I enjoy it so much. We have so many amazing things coming out, and also with partnership with you on so many things you've been helping us with. So I'm excited to be able to share that news and keep helping people. So that's my goal, is to help more and more people through postpartum, especially because it's hard. You don't know what you don't know. I always joke around saying that parenting doesn't come with a manual, but it can come with a nurse. So
Hey, that's true. And I feel like, when I first became a mom, I was like, and my daughter was only like 2 pounds, and I was holding her in my hands, and I was like, who gave me the right to be a parent? I did not have training on this. What do I do with this tiny living human being? Especially my daughter had a lot of health issues. So I felt like I felt, very isolated and alone. And the great thing about your program is that you're not alone as a mom, and that you're there to provide them the support and the knowledge, not only as a mom, but also as a nurse, which I think is absolutely amazing. And, the fourth trimester, I think that was what really intrigued me about you, was that you specialize in the fourth trimester. And, that was something I was not ready for. I got postpartum with my second, as you know, and it hit me. I had no idea all the different changes, the hormones, the body changes. I think you just posted something on Instagram recently about that, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember all the different hormones and crying every day. And then I was crazy and had another kid 12 months later after my first. And so I was literally for 3 years straight in this like cycle of uneven hormones and emotions and craziness. So what are some things that women or anyone should know about the fourth trimester?
well, first I want to say I'm so sad that I didn't know you at that time to be able to love you through it, because that's such a shock and hard thing to go through and overwhelming. But I think with the fourth trimester is just setting yourself up for success in it. Like, build your dream team. I think just having support in general, good people around you, friends, family that you can really count on, and prepping as much as possible, right? You can never be 100% prepared for a baby, but having, making sure you're really comfortable with your OBGYN. If you have a counselor, that's important to have. Knowing the signs of what postpartum depression is versus depression, and, postpartum anxiety and all those. And making sure your partner and family know those signs too. And then if you can, definitely hire like a nurse coach or even a doula that can come to you with the hospital. Some will do things for you after at home, but the more support, the better. I think just spreading awareness of it, because you don't know what you don't know. And your body is changing, your mind is changed. Like, you're trying to take care of your body and know what's normal versus not normal, and then also doing that for your baby, and it's very overwhelming. So what we do is we help build parents with their own confidence, give them the tools and resources. Everything is tailored to them of what your questions are, so you're not having to Google things at 2 a.m. Like, we get to be that support. So I think just it's a lot to process of what you think it's going to be versus what it is, and that's journey is very different for everybody.
Yeah, and I can tell you from experience, Google doesn't always work out. So don't Google it. I think
No,
that should be
because
the number one
Google,
rule in parenting.
yeah, because then you go into like the internet abyss and you're just like, well, this contradicts with this one. Do we do this one or this one? So I tell people, if they're going to Google, find like two really true evidence-based practice like websites that are going to give you the correct information, not someone's opinion, not someone's experience, but true medical evidence-based.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's crazy. I think there's so many opinions and knowledge out there in the world, especially when it comes to parenting. Everyone wants to tell you what to do. I think that's what most new moms will find. And one of the great things about having, a nurse to kind of help guide you through it is that you one, can trust that person. Number two is that, you know, they have the medical experience, and then they have the personal experience as well, you know, at least in your case. And so I think that's really great, because instead of having all these different parents, if you just rely on one person that you absolutely trust, it makes everything a lot less complicated. For me, I actually leaned on my mother-in-law. I really loved how she raised her kids. I agreed with a lot of her values and her views. And so even though she didn't have a kid around the same time I did, I was able to take some of the things and then use research and talk to doctors and things like that, to make my own parenting decisions. But I always say, listen to one person. Everyone else you nod and smile at. That's my go-to. I'm like, nod and smile and say thank you.
Yep. I
And
think
then
that's the
move on.
go-to for sure. And I think people do have a good heart. You know, the majority of the time people do have good intentions and they're trying to help. So I think just there's so much to learn when you become a parent, but also boundaries, also being able to take what you like and leave the rest. Just because someone's coming at you with something doesn't mean that you have to do it, but holding your truth of what you want. And I think that's where the confidence comes in, to be like, actually, like, I want to keep holding my baby because I know that studies show that they cry less, we bond better, you know, all these things, right? That go with that. And I'm not spoiling them. Babies don't have the brain development to manipulate. So it's really being in that truth and knowing what, you know, was 20, 30 years ago, what they knew versus now is different. And being able to say, this is what I want to do, and this is what feels comfortable to me and my family.
Yeah, and you know, the holding thing, yeah, that's always like one of the biggest topics. I feel like my kids are 6 and 7. I still pick them up and hold them. I'm like, they're almost at that age where they're too big to do it, like where it's literally like physically incapable of holding them for too long. But I'm gonna hold them until that moment comes, because they're not gonna be little forever, you know, and they're precious moments where I get to continue to bond with my kids, and that's eventually going to shift into other ways. But personally for me, it's just been such a blessing just to pick them up. And I've had so many people tell me that, oh, you're babying them or spoiling them, or they're old enough to walk on their own. And I'm like, I know, but right now they need my comfort. So but it's like you said, it's a personal choice. You have to decide what's right for you, and then not care what everyone else thinks. I think that's another thing as moms, is we're so worried about what the world is going to think of our parenting and our style. And everyone's parenting style is so unique and tailored to your family, because there's not another family like yours, you know, 100% all the way around. So I think, yeah, like you said, just really choose what works for you. Don't listen, you know, you can listen, but you don't have to take what they said and actually apply it to your life, because it's also going to overwhelm you. Think about it. If you have 100 different pieces of advice being thrown at you, you're going to be super overwhelmed trying to follow every single piece, right?
Yeah, and I think that's where that more and more confidence builds in too, is like owning your truth of what works for you and your family. And I've had a lot of families say that they're overwhelmed, like maybe they're feeling pressure from, you know, their mother or their in-laws or whoever it is, right? And owning their truth. And I always say too, like, if you have to, I would say like having a gatekeeper. So when you're in your fourth trimester in postpartum and you're, you know, healing your body, trying to figure out this beautiful new baby of yours and navigating this new chapter of your life, all these other people that are coming at you, the gatekeeper, whether that's your partner, support person, whoever that is, so you can be like, this is what I want and don't want, and I don't want so and so staying here for so long, so here's our code word, banana smoothie, and I'm gonna take a nap, you know, like, so saying that so you can be like, you got to get these people out, and that's okay, because sometimes people overstay that. You're like, I'm not trying to host you, like, I just had a baby. So I always tell people to know their game plan and what they want, who they want around, how long,
Yeah.
and voice those needs and concerns.
Yeah, I think that's really smart. And not to like plan anything really big in the fourth trimester. I did a housewarming party and absolutely regretted it. I just, because I was so tired, I just wanted to rest. But we moved into our house one day after I gave birth, our first house that we bought. So I was like, oh, everyone can meet the baby. It'll be great. Everyone at one shot. I was exhausted, and then all the cleanup. and the food and the ordering. And my child was very expensive in the beginning because she was so small and we didn't have a NICU. And so also like making sure you keep those I think the finances is a really big thing, especially in the postpartum, is that, you know, making sure you have money saved, because you don't know what's going to come up. You don't know if your child's going to need a specialized formula, if you're going to have extra doctor visits with the copays, and so many different things that go into raising a baby. And I know in marriages, especially, or even just partnerships, finances is actually one of the biggest things that people fight about. So you don't want anything, you just want to bond with your baby and take care of yourself in that fourth trimester. So personally, I recommend always, you know, trying to save some sort of money, so that way you don't have to stress about it, you know?
Definitely. Yeah. And like you said, if you could plan as much as possible, then do that. And we have all those kinds of resources too, and partnerships with banks that we utilize for giving people information about savings plans for their babies and how to set all that stuff up for success in that journey. So that's the kind of thing. So anyone that comes with us like saying, "Hey, I'm really stressed out about this," like we try to find that resource for them. You know, if we can't do it ourselves, then we find something for them. Again, trying to eliminate all the Googling.
Yeah, that's amazing. I didn't know that. I know a lot about your business, but I didn't know that. So that's really cool.
Yes,
Um,
we always meet people where they're at. So anything they list, any concern, any stressor, you know, we try to find solutions for them and set them up so that it's one less thing that they don't have to worry about.
that's awesome. And now I know it's not currently launched, but by the time your episode comes out, it will be launched. So I do
Okay.
want you to announce what we got developed and happening, because it's so exciting for new moms or even just current parents.
Yeah, so I'm like so excited. So we developed the app, your team, and we've just collaborated and worked together on developing it with all the years of information of like my nursing and from Nurse Q, original business, and just all this parenting, just advice and content from pregnancy to postpartum, caring for your baby, caring for you, positive affirmations. We'll do monthly Zoom meetings where people can come and ask questions, parent forum connections. You can connect with other parents. It doesn't have to be on Facebook. It can just be like-minded parents in this parent forum and growing. One-on-one coaching will be offered, and then we'll also be able to offer all the classes too, where if people don't want to take a Zoom class, they can just watch it at their own pace. So that will be an extended part that they can purchase separately of that part. But all this great content in there to really guide them and navigating all of parenthood without feeling alone or overwhelmed, and really having that evidence-based practice, research, and right content, not someone's opinion or Google, all in one platform. So I'm really thankful for your team and the hard work, and it's taken a while, and we're doing it.
Oh man, I am so excited. And shout out to Kelsey on my team, who's
Oh
been,
my goodness.
oh my
Yes.
gosh, absolutely amazing designing this. And she is fantastic. But it's awesome because like we always knew you had all this amazing content, right? You had all this knowledge to share with moms, and now we were able to put it in one place, you know. And so through the E.P.E.S program .com, you know, we have all these different resources now, so that way families and parents can really take advantage of it. And I love it. We have like everything, what from affirmations, we got the parent forum, we got articles and videos and just so much good stuff that I love that it's in so many different formats and ways. So if you just need like a quick little lift me up, you can go to the affirmations. If you really want to research something, you can find it in an article. Or if you just don't want to read, sometimes our eyes get tired. We have, you know, we're gonna have the courses, and then possibly little videos as well, correct?
Yeah, we're gonna do, so that's the thing, that when this gets launched, it'll be there. But all
Yeah.
these, and all these videos for each section. So if you don't want to just read, you can listen to short clips.
Mhm.
And then every month it will be updated. So really technically every 3 weeks before people have new subscriptions.
That's awesome. So I love that. And then that way it's always, fresh data, and the best part, it's on your phone. So I know, especially when my babies were little, I was either breastfeeding or I had them in the little baby wear, and I would be able to go on my phone and research stuff. And so I love that, just right there in a really easy formatted way and really easy accessible. So I'm so excited for you. It's
I
gonna
am.
be
It's so
amazing.
surreal. It's been such a big project, and like definitely kudos to you and your entire team. Like you've built such an incredible team and business that it's been incredible to cheer you on and watch you grow from the pandemic to now. Like it's been amazing, and I'm so and thankful to have you doing this with me and being on my team. And it's so great. Who would have thought
Aw.
that the pandemic and Instagram would have connected us?
Yeah, thanks,
Um,
Lee Johnson.
I know, and shout out to Shalene Johnson. We'll send her this too. But seriously, it's been a beautiful journey. The pandemic was really hard on all of us, and there's so many great things that have come out from the pandemic, a lot of great connections, a lot of great businesses that have been born. It's been an incredible, interesting journey.
It really has. And, my first episode on Virtual Index was about networking. I think I even mentioned in that episode how we met, which is really funny too. Kind of brings it all back full circle. But I think it's just really important to, make connections with like-minded people. So if you want to connect with like-minded moms, we got the app. And then with like-minded entrepreneurs, I always love different networking groups and so much stuff. So you can check out episode 1 if you want more ways to network. But the benefits of it is like you can create lasting friendships even if you live all the way across the country. I was visiting my family in Massachusetts, and I was like, Q, I gotta stop and see you. We gotta go there, even if it's a little out of the way. And oh man, me and my husband were so happy we did, because it was just so cool to finally meet you in person. Um, and also your daughter too. And our kids all loved each other. They were so
Yes.
cute together.
They were. I was like, why do you have to live so far? It was like,
I
yeah, it was
know.
really incredible. I would have drove to you too. But you guys are like, we need to go to New York. I'm like, okay. So that was fun. It was a great experience to hang out, and yeah, it felt so comfortable because we've known each other for so long already.
Yeah, it's crazy because like we've always talked on the phone and we've done FaceTime and all that. And like when we were actually meeting in person, it didn't feel really different, which is funny because there's always that stigma, like your virtual friends and then you have your real friends, is what they call them, the ones that are in person. And to me, it's like my whole business, my whole life is virtual. Like everyone, we move every 2 years, so it's really hard to make people that friends with people we live in the town. And so I absolutely adore you, and I'm so glad that we've kept our friendship for so long, and it has been amazing. And now both our businesses are growing, so it's so
I know.
exciting.
I know you've been my inspiration for like a lot of the things and encouraging, so I appreciate that. And I'm gonna tell everyone this part too, this exciting news. So also I'm launching a podcast.
Woo woo!
So my podcast is going to be called The Nurse Q Show. I'm hoping it'll be out when this is out, but if not, we'll just let people know when it is.
Yeah,
In the next like few weeks.
I'll
So
update it
I'm
in the show notes.
super excited about that. And yeah, thanks for being my like, I don't know, encourager and guiding me on all the things to do it. Because sometimes when you're trying to do something, it can be feeling overwhelmed. I think that's why even in Shalene Johnson during the pandemic, she's like, keep building and like-minded people and entrepreneurs and friendships that way so that you can bounce things off each other. When you're in a big office at work, you're doing that. And then when you go on your own, it can be a very lonely, emotional roller coaster ride of a journey. And we've had moments like that too. When you went from your job working full time and doing both, and you came at this crossroads that you're like, I can't mentally, physically, emotionally do both.
Yeah.
So, and then you took that leap of faith on yourself and you have done incredible. And that's when you come at this road. Anyone who gets that place, it's like, okay, where am I going to go? And you just put that faith in yourself and jumped and you're rocking it. But that's like, I'm just thankful for having you on my team and on my side, girl. So thank you.
Ditto. Thank you. Well, I've had a pleasure having you on the show, and I can't wait to be on yours since I'm creating your forms and calendars. I'm going to schedule myself on your podcast.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Because people need to know all the good tips of being an entrepreneur, mother, running your own company, and have your viewpoint and your story, you know?
Definitely. I think it's something that's doable, and I think a lot of people think it's really overwhelming, but with the right techniques you can really do it. You can do it all. So I'm so excited for that. And I'll make sure I put all the links into the show notes with your app and your podcast and all the great things. And then where can people find you?
So you can find me at epesprogram.com. So EPESprogram.com, or on Instagram, nurseq_EPES, to follow me for, just parenting tips and everything pregnancy and postpartum related.
Awesome. So I will make sure that's in the show notes as well. And we'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks, Q.
Thanks.